Georgia is scrimmaging as I speak right now. This video is getting published pretty much immediately from when I'm recording it. Dogs are scrimmaging. I have heard some things from the last scrimmage, heard a little bit about practice from insiders. I've seen a little bit of practice myself, and I want to run through what I am predicting is going to be the starting defense for Georgia. Throughout kind of a couple of different lineups. I'll tell you some players that I think are going to be on the field for this Georgia defense. You know that Georgia has different packages, right? It's, like a lot of other defenses, they have different things that they want to do. I think when we all get into Sanford Stadium and we see that opening game against Marshall, I think this is who that first lineup is going to be, and these are players that are definitely going to be in the rotation, if not straight up starters for the Georgia Bulldogs. So let's run through it. I'll start from the defensive line and I'll work my way back to the third level, back to the secondary, and just talk about, hey, like in this package, I think you're going to see this. I think you'll see this player used in this way or that way. Georgia's got a lot to work with on defense. There is some inexperience at certain spots, kind of more in particular on the defensive line that I'm starting with. But at the very end of the day, it's a defense that's super talented, 4 or 5-star players, and guys that have production. Dawg post, Ryan Curley, newsletter. Those are the things that you need to know. I'm Ryan Curley. You're watching Dawg Post. I'll get the newsletter down below. I've got the QR code up. Take a picture with your phone, right? You just boop, take a picture of it. Or if you're watching on your phone, screenshot it. Hold down the screenshot. You'll get access to the QR code. Simple way to stay in touch with everything that's going on with the Georgia Bulldogs is to be signed up for our free newsletter. We push out news stories, breaking news, all of that to your email address. It's worth it, guys. It's worth it. I know that it can be annoying to be on different mailing lists, but this is one that you want to be on. This isn't like you went to some department store and now you're on their mailing list even though it's not a place you go. It's about the Dogs, and you're watching it for a reason. That advertisement took a little bit longer than I wanted it to. We'll move on to the defensive line. I think you're going to see Joseph Jonah-Jonier, second-year player, redshirt freshman out of Texas. I think you're going to see him start. I think you're going to see him kind of in that Michael Williams, Trayvon Walker spot. At the very minimum, he's going to be rotating there. But that's where I think it starts on the defensive line. Big number 99, 6'4", right? That 250, 260 range, long arms, very athletic. That mold that they have been crafting for that spot over the last few years, I think he's next in line for that. He's going to start. Next to him, I think Christian Miller is their number one defensive tackle. Oldest guy in the room. There's a lot of buzz around him, kind of from national media outlets this year. Like, I've seen first-round potential out of him, according to people online. He is a guy where, look, it's his turn, right? It's been around for 4 years. Now it's time for him to go and get it done as the starter on the defensive line. In packages where they're running 2 defensive tackles, I think your starting lineup is him and Jordan Hall. Although there's a lot to work with, a lot of inexperience to work with. But look, 5-star freshman Elijah Griffin is probably going to rotate in. I think Xavier McLeod, the former transfer from South Carolina, I think he rotates in. I think Nnamdi Agboko maybe rotates in. Nazir Johnson. They've got options there. It starts with Christian Miller and Jordan Hall. And I think a player that you'll see in a versatile role where he's kind of an outside linebacker. Oh, excuse me. Wow. Kind of an outside linebacker, kind of an edge rusher, is Gabe Harris Jr. I think that is a role for him where he's going to get to do a little bit of both. I think that the true freshmen behind him are guys that might play that role a little bit too, like Isaiah Gibson. But I think Gabe Harris is kind of your number one defensive end / outside linebacker. Now, the other outside linebacker, who's a little bit more of a traditional outside linebacker, not a down lineman, just because he's not as big as Gabe Harris, who can probably play both, Elo Mendoza, the transfer from Army. I think he's going to be a starter. I think they brought him in for a reason. They went through the spring, evaluated their situation, said, we got to go get this guy. We got to get another guy that can rush the passer, a guy that had 6.5 sacks last year, led his team in that category and in tackles for loss. He is a proven player with production, right? Now, he's not proven in the SEC, and he's still kind of young, but he's got production, and I think that matters for Georgia and for Glenn Schumann and Kirby Smart. It very much matters. So I think that on the front, Joseph Jonah-Jonier, Christian Miller, Gabe Harris, Elamadosey, Jordan Hall. That's probably your starting point. And those are the guys that are going to be out there on the field instantly. They're going to rotate other players. It's not just going to be them. And I think you're definitely going to see some true freshmen play. You move back to the next level, and you've got a very good linebacker core that starts with C.J. Allen and Raylan Wilson in the middle. C.J. Allen is the starter. Raylan Wilson starting right next to him. Off-ball and on-ball linebackers. They are arguably the best linebacker duo in the sport, those two. C.J. Allen, I saw the other day, he's on some preseason All-America lists, so that shows you what people think about him. He's certainly a candidate to be a Butkus Award winner, right? They've had a couple of them recently, Nakobe Dean, Roquan Smith, Jalen Walker last season. People think that C.J. Allen can be that. I think that Raylan Wilson can have a really good season too. But you're going to see more than just them. You're going to see Justin Williams too. Redshirt. Oh, he may be entering. He did redshirt last. No, he not redshirt last year. Excuse me. Neither Justin Williams or Chris Cole redshirted. They are going to be true sophomores this coming season. They played in their games, right? Chris Cole played a little bit more valuable snaps, like significant snaps, right? Made a couple plays against Texas. Made a really nice touchdown, a defensive scoop and score type of touchdown against UMass. Chris Cole and Justin Williams are very versatile young linebackers that are freaky athletic. And some insiders have told us they've worked at that nickel back, that star position as well, in addition to an inside linebacker and an outside linebacker. They've worked in coverage a little bit with the defensive backs. That's what I'm hearing. Kind of heard that a lot over the last few years with Georgia linebackers, and you don't typically see it a lot on the field. But just know that there are packages there where, hey, look, you're going to see these really fast athletic linebackers out in coverage on, look, running backs and tight ends that are very good in the conference. Some of the best in the country are in this conference, the SEC. So we'll stick to that star position, right? Knowing that some of these linebackers are getting some time. Jonel Aguero is the leader in the clubhouse to be the starting nickelback for Georgia. It's a spot that's had some really talented players play it the last few years. Tyke Smith played it really well. Malachi Starks has played that spot. Javon Bullard's played that spot. They've had some really good players play in the nickel, and Jonel Aguero is someone they've been grooming for the last 2 years to take over this job. I think it's firmly his. I know they brought in a lot of transfer safeties and they're going to compete for time, but Jonel Aguero is the leader in the clubhouse to be that star, right? Georgia calls it the star, the nickelback spot. I've seen it called all sorts of things. I think the spear is what they call it at Florida State, if I'm not mistaken. That's a really cool one. People have different terminology for it, but Georgia calls it the star. Other safeties, KJ Bolden, certainly a starter. Next to him, I think that the person that will get the first opportunity is going to be Ja'Cory Thomas. Year 4 in the program for Ja'Cory Thomas. He's waited his turn. He's played, right? And now it's clear for him to play. They did bring in Adrian Maddox from UAB. They brought in Zion Branch from USC, who I think is competing. They brought in Jaden Harris. Out of those three, I think Zion Branch is the biggest threat to Ja'Cory in terms of playing time. But I think that Ja'Cory, just when you think about experience and waiting turn and loyalty, Kirby Smart typically rewards that in some ways. Sometimes people think he rewards it too much. I think you're going to get that with Ja'Cory Thomas. I think he's going to play. I think you're going to see rotating in the first couple of games. Before they go up to Knoxville week 3 to play Tennessee, you're going to see rotating. You're going to see different looks on the defensive line. You're going to see different looks in the secondary. Zion Branch is going to play. Adrian Maddox probably going to play. You're going to see some of the corners rotate. Starting corners to start the season, it's Dalen Everett and Daniel Harris. I think you're going to see Ellis Robinson and DeMello Jones rotate in a little bit. No one's taking Dalen Everett's job. I do think that although Daniel Harris has a big leg up on the starting cornerback job, he's not going to dominate the snaps because they're going to rotate in those first couple of games. This kind of shows you, look, they've got different packages, right? Like when they go into dime sets, you're going to see 3 safety or an extra 2 safeties out there maybe, or an extra corner. You're going to see sets where they have 4 linebackers out there, sets where they have 4 or 5 defensive linemen out there. But the starting point and all the players I named are players that are definitely going to rotate in and play. They've got depth other than that. But I think that that's your starting lineup heading into the season. To offense here soon. But I wanted to talk about Georgia's defense today and just who you're going to see out there. Thank you for watching. Newsletter, hit the QR code.